Swamiji asked me to start introducing people to Sanskrit. But the way I am approaching Sanskrit is not like children do. Children can learn Vyakaran, grammar. They're going to spend, their mother will be talking to them. They'll want to express themselves, and that's how they'll learn the language. We have to learn differently. So we have to gamify it. We have to have fun with it. And we have to do it in a way that builds on what we know and what we want to know and what we can use. Sri Aurobindo used to use the term going from near to far. What is near to us, you handle that first before you go far. So trying to learn conversational Sanskrit has never worked for me. Trying to learn the grammar of Sanskrit has never worked for me. I promptly forget it because I don't use it. But what I use is the Gita. What I use is the Upanishads because I'm interested in them. I love them. I want to go deep into them. So that is near to me. And from that nearness, I learned whatever little I could gather. So that is what I recommend. And very quickly, briefly, we will just talk about it. And this is not to memorize, it's just to get used to it. And if you want to read about it, you're welcome to read. And I can even recommend some good books, which make it very simple. They're not very complex. Anyway, so very briefly, are you recording, Swamiji?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to take a jump to just one vibhakti that we have in Sanskrit. That is the Saptami Vibhakti. And the reason I'm using Saptami Vibhakti is one, it is there in the first shloka of the Gita, which you can probably share with everyone. And it is also in the shlok that we will be doing next, which is, I think, and we will come to that shloka number 30 in the second chapter. So let's do 1.1, Gita 1.1. And it's really a very important shloka. It really starts the shloka. And if you look at it like me, someone who loves literature, it really creates the ground for the entire discussion of the Gita. So maybe I'll start it until you post it. It starts, you might have heard of it, most of you would have heard of it. Dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta yuyutsavaha mamakav pandavaschaiva kim kurvata Sanjaya. This is Dhritarashtra asking Sanjaya what happened in the Dharma Kshetra, in the Kurukshetra, where all the warriors gathered together. My people, Mamaka, which actually means my things, and Pandavaha. Pandava is the Pandavas in plural. Cha iva. Cha is and. Iva is he or certainly. Kim akurvata. Akurvata, whenever you come to akurvata, that is the past. And Sanjaya, whenever you do Sambodhan, normally when you refer to someone, you will say Ramaha. But when you call Ramaha, you will say Hey Rama. The Visarga will go away in singular. So he's talking to Sanjaya, and the Visarga goes away because he's addressing Sanjaya. Sanjaya is singular, one Sanjaya, and he's addressing it. This is called Sambodhana. This is supposed to be the 8th Vibhakti. Some scholars disagree. They say there is no such thing as 8th Vibhakti. The 8th Vibhakti is nothing but a variation of the first Vibhakti. First Vibhakti is called Karta, the doer. Or in English we call it, or Latin we call it, the nominative. So let's go to the seventh one, because that's how we're starting. Dharma Kshetra. Kshetra, you know, it's the field, although in the Gita, Kshetra will become very important. In the 13th chapter, Arjuna will ask him about the Kshetra. So we will come to that. Dharma, everyone I think understands by now. So Dharma Kshetre, the moment you put A in it, it becomes what is called a locative. What it tells you is where, locative. Saptami Vibhakti or locative. And that tells you about where. Those who love Hindi Vyakarana, it's called Adhikarana. Adhikarana me pe par. So if you can remember Saptami Vibhakti, I think that's all that is needed. Dharma Kshetre. So Dharma Kshetre, wherever you will say, it will mean me, pe or par. Upon it or in it. And it's a very beautiful understanding that comes from this locative or the Saptami Vibhakti. And we will talk about that very quickly. If you want to impress your wife or your friend or your husband, it's a very important thing to know. You have to know the Saptami Vibhakti. And that's how we're going to learn. Where we use it and you impress. And after that, if they respond to you in Sanskrit, then you run away, because we haven't learned the rest yet. But we'll come to that. Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre. In Dharma Kshetra, in Kurukshetra. Whenever you put A, it gives you the location. For example, if I say Gajaha Vane Vasati. Gaja is Hathi, elephant. Vane is Vanme. Vasati is to live. I don't want to make it very difficult. But Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre. In Dharma Kshetra, in Kurukshetra, and then Samaveta is gathered together. Yuyutsava is ready to fight, eager to fight. So, in the Dharma Kshetra, in the Kurukshetra, gathered together, ready to fight. What did my people, my things, my people and the Pandavas do for sure? Certainly. That is the question. So, just remember, if you can just listen to this and meditate on this. There is a lot in this first shloka. I can write a whole chapter on the first shloka, which I have done. I've tried to write it. And almost every word will come back later. Dharma will come back for sure until the end. Kshetra will come back because Kshetra is, eventually you will realize that Kshetra is everything around you, including you. You too are Kshetra. And the Kshetragya is that pure awareness that you are, that you don't realize. So all this me, Pariksith, this knowledge, this speaking, this mind, this vital, this prana, this body, everything is Kshetra. Everything is Sri Krishna's Kshetra. And the Kshetragya is who knows the Kshetra. That is our true nature, our Purusha. So again, it will come later. Kurukshetre. Now, Kurukshetre people usually refer to as the place near New Delhi where the battle was fought. However, there is a double meaning to Kurukshetra. Kuru is to do, is karma. So, Satyavrat Siddhanta Lankarji said Kurukshetra not just means the location, that place, but also your field of action, which is your life. So, and Sri Aurobindo has one line in Essays on the Gita. I think this is a chapter on 11th, what he had written about the 11th chapter. There's one line that Kurukshetra could also mean the field of action. If you see it that way, then suddenly it becomes a big thing. It's almost like Sri Krishna is talking to us in the Dharma Kshetra, in the Kurukshetra. So I'm going to stop there because otherwise we can go on talking about this, but this is a very important shloka which really starts off, you hit the ground running, and that's how, Sri Krishna's great epic starts. So I will stop there because I just wanted you to be introduced to the 7th Vibhakti. Now everybody's interested. What am I going to tell my wife and make her happy? So the word that is used, and this is how I remember it, aham tvai snihayami. If you want to tell your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your husband, you want to show off a little bit, aham tvai snihayami. In English, we say, I love you. But in Sanskrit, we say, aham tvai snihayami. What does that mean? Actually, it does not mean I love you when you translate it. What it means is tvai is in you. Tvai is the Saptami Vibhakti. So, snihayami is to discover love. I discover love in you. Whenever you say, I trust you, Aviralji, I'm not going to say that in Sanskrit. I'm going to say, I have trust in you in Sanskrit. Why? Because in our tradition, it is not the person outside that you have love for. You have love for something deeper within, and that deeper within, as you go deeper and deeper, is the Atman. And as you discover that love in them, as you relate to what is inside them, that love appears. You start discovering that love. And that is the true relationship of the Purusha with the Purusha, of the Atman with the Atman. That's why we always say, I discover love in you. And so it may get confusing. How can you love in someone? That is what it means. So that is the Saptami Vibhakti. There are more applications of Saptami Vibhakti, but I will, stop here. For example, you say, the lotuses are flowering in the lake. So you will say Kamalani. Kamalani is many lotuses. Kasare. Kasare is the lake, or Sarovare, if you want to use that. Vikasanti. Vikasanti is multiple or blooming. Or Aham Grahe Bhavami. I am in my home. Grahe, I am in home. Grahe, grahe, inside. So I can say Grahe Bhavami. I don't even have to say Aham. Again, 7th Saptami Vibhakti. I just wanted you to touch it, feel it. Those who know Sanskrit already, for them it's already nothing new. But those who don't know, Swamiji wanted to talk about some Sanskrit, so I just threw that in like a bonus extra for today's discussion. Shall we go to the 30th shloka? And we will come back to that. We are not done with the Saptami Vibhakti. Saptami Vibhakti is quite, no, second chapter. Second chapter, 30th, because we were at the 29th, I think, right? Ascharyavat pashyati kaschidenam. So that was the 29th. Now notice what we are trying to do. Since we are trying to gamify the Gita, we're going to have fun with it. Shri Krishna is the avatar of the Leela or Ananda. So we're going to have fun with it. And that's why the part, so we can start having fun with it. Sanskrit too, we're going to have fun with it. We're not going to make it a serious thing. There's no exam unless You create one for yourself. So let's quickly talk about this. Dehi. Dehi will come again and again. Dehi is one who lives in the Deha. That is your Atman or your Purusha. That who lives, the one who resides in the Deha. Dehi. Nityama. So Dehi Nityam. Dehi is Nityam, it is eternally abiding. It will never die. Nityam. Dehi Nityam Avadhyo. Avadhyaha. Avadhyaha, when you connect it, becomes Avadhyo because of the Sandhi. But Avadhya. Avadhya is that which can never be killed. And we have talked about it before. Nainam Chindanti Shastrani. Nainam Dahati Pavakaha. If you remember, I think it was the 23rd or 24th, I forget. 23rd, I think. Or Achedyoyam, Adahyoyam, that was the 24th. So here he is coming back, and Sri Krishna loves to do that. He comes back to what he has said before, but in a different context. Dehi Nityam Avadyo Ayam. Ayam, this. Dehe. Now, where was this Dehe earlier? You remember that? What does Dehe mean? It is the Saptami Vibhakti. Dehe. Dehe me. Inside the Dehe. Sarvasya. Sarvasya you might know already. All. Sarvasya. Sarvasya Bharata. Bharata is the name used for Arjuna. Tasmat. Tasmat. Therefore. Ataha. Sarvani. Sarvani means all. All. Whenever Sarvani is mentioned, Ani is usually many things. Bhutani. Bhutani. Bhuta is neutral. I think it's Bhutam and Bhutani. Many Bhutas, and Bhuta here are creatures. So, Sarvani Bhutani. Wherever the noun has a certain case and a certain vibhakti, Arab, kahan chalega yaar? No, 2.30. Yeah, that's good.
Sorry, my mouse was very flickering. Sorry about that.
No problem. The adjective will have the same case, the same vibhakti as the subject. So, Sarvani Bhutani, they'll go together. You can't say Sarva Bhutani. Everyone will jump all over you. Now you will say, why does it become Sarvani here and Bhutani? Why is it Ni and Na? There's a very simple rule. If there is Ra involved in that word, if there is a Ra before the Ni, it will become a Na. Sarvani, Ra is there. Or if there's a Ru there, so it becomes a Na. That's one very simple rule. I'll try not to make it too difficult. Sarvani Bhutani, all the creatures, in them the Dehi that is residing is Nityam and it is Avadhyaha. It can never be killed. That is why Na Tvam Shochitum Arhasi, you are not capable of having sorrow for them. That means you will not have sorrow for them. So that is basically the explanation. Now, before, when you do Anvaya, Anvaya means when you rearrange the words so that you understand. Because in Sanskrit, you can put words back and forth and it doesn't change the meaning. Because Sanskrit goes by the vibhakti and the case. So it is quite scientific that way. If you want to read Sri Aurobindo's interpretation, which would be very worthwhile here, maybe you can go down a little bit, or if you can't, that's fine. There it is. This dweller in the body of everyone is eternal and indestructible, O Bharata. Therefore, thou shouldst not grieve for any creature. So that is what he means. Now, who wants to read the shloka as a patha? Anyone interested?
Prashant, Swati, last time you guys didn't get your. Are you up to it today?
Anybody wants to be, and put it with all your bhava, all your feelings for Sri Krishna and Sri Aurobindo. Let them come out. If you say it wrong, it's okay. They will not get upset.
I could try once it gets played again, please.
Okay, so let me do that for you, and then you can repeat after me. Let's do the first one.
Sure.
Dehi nityama vadyoyam. So, Dehi nityama vadyoyam. You want to try that?
Dehi nityam vadyoyam.
Dehi nityama. Put pressure. Nityama vadyoyam.
Dehi nityam vadyoyam.
It's very nice, but you're saying nityam vadyoyam, right? Now you have to put your emphasis, because remember, this is not ma with halant. Dehi nityama vadyoyam. In fact, even the ni, you will put a little pressure on it. Dehi nityama vadyoyam. Let's try it again.
Dehi nityam vadyoyam.
Okay, all right, we'll practice it. Dehe sarvasya bharata.
Dehe sarvasya bharata.
Yes, open, take your time. This Sanskrit gives you that. Tasmat sarvani bhutani.
Tasmat tasvar.
Tasmat sarvani bhutani.
Tasmat sarvani bhutani.
Aram se, there's no rush. Tasmat sarvani bhutani.
Tasmat sarvani bhutani.
Very nice. Natvam shochitum arhasi.
Natvam shochitum arhasi.
Very nice. Now let's play the master, Swami Brahmanandji.
Wait, I'll give the link.
अच्छा नहीं है क्या?
अभी देता हूँ.
ऊपर है ना इसमें नहीं?
Your Pankaj is not there today. Rajesh is doing.
अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा.
I'll give the link.
Yatin has sent the link.
Okay.
हाँ सुपर साइड में कर लो. हाँ.
Yeah. Just play the. You might have to reshare it with the audio.
ऑडियो पे डालो. ऑडियो पे क्लिक करो.
I think he'll reshare with audio. That will happen.
चलो कोई बात नहीं.
It'll come.
So what I see is we are all hesitant because we are kind of shy. One, of course, we are shy in front of others, but don't be shy.
हे भारत, ये हे भारत, ये देही आत्मा सबके शरीर में सदा ही अवध्य है.
We need to play.
The mool shloka.
The Swami in Swami Brahmanand's chant.
Yep.
उसको ऑडियो पे क्लिक करो यार.
देहे नित्यमवध्योऽयं देहे सर्वस्य भारत तस्मात् सर्वाणि भूतानि न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि.
देखो कितने आराम से he's pulling it. There's no rush. Tasmat sarvani bhutani. Why? Because ma is long in Sanskrit. Play it again if you don't mind.
देहे नित्यमवध्योऽयं देहे सर्वस्य भारत तस्मात् सर्वाणि भूतानि न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि.
So it's really beautiful, and it is the feel of the Sanskrit, the joy of Sanskrit. If we can absorb it, then I think learning Sanskrit will become easy. Now, if you just remember dehe or dehi, suddenly you will understand what dehe is and dehi is. And if we do it 100 times, then it will stick. So there is no problem. Don't be shy in front of each other. Swamiji is never shy in front of me. I don't even correct him anymore. I just let him be. All right, so shall we do the next shloka?
Yes, I think also Rahul wanted to chat, so we can give him a
Okay,
chance.
Rahul ji,
Next.
you want to do that or you want to do the next shloka?
Next should like Rahul B.
Next, okay. Okay, so let's go to the next shloka 2.31. So now Sri Krishna comes to the third logic. Logic number one was shloka 2.11 to 2.5. That means Purusha can never be destroyed, can never be killed. So your whole fear, your Vishad has no meaning. That's one. Two, even if I grant you that you are right, even if the Atman dies and it's born, even then you have no right to feel sorrow. If it's going to die anyway, what's the point having sorrow? Atha chainam nitya jatam nityam va manyase mratam. So if you think, if you believe that the Atma is going to die and it's going to be born constantly, tathapi tvam mahabaho, even then, nainam shochitum arhasi. Now, shochitum arhasi came back in the 30th shloka. So remember that. He comes back with his punarukti. Punarukti is he keeps bringing it back. He hammers him inside. So, even if I accept that the Atman dies, you have no right to be sorrowful. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuhu. That which is born is going to die. Dhruvam janma mritasya cha. And that which is dying is going to be born. Tasmad pariharyerthe. You cannot escape it. Natvam shochitum arhasi. So he is giving all the logic. Avyaktadini bhutani. When you were, before you were born, adi, in the old time, you were avyakta. Vyakta madhyani Bharata, in the middle you became vyakta, you became manifest. Avyakta nidhananyeva, and at the end you will again become avyakta. Tatrika paridevana. So why are you having sorrow for that? You were unmanifest, you became manifest, you become unmanifest. What is there to have sorrow for? So, second logic. Now he will come to the third logic. Shri Krishna is brilliant as a logician. So now he comes to Swadharma mapi chaveksha. Swadharma, jo tumhara dharma hai. Chaveksha. Iksha, wherever iksha comes, it's to see. Just like akshi. Akshi is the eye. Right? Pariksha. Sakshat. Sakshatkar. This is all. Iksha is the eye from Akshi. So we are not able to see the screen, Rahulji. So whoever is handling your screen, we cannot see the shloka. Swadharma api. Api is bhi. Also. Cha veksha. Cha aveksha. Aveksha means to look at it, to think it through. Na vikampitum arhasi. Now arhasi has come back again. Shri Krishna is not allowing him to do these, to have such feelings or vikampit. Vikampit kya hota hai? Kampit is vibrant, that which is vibrating. Padpadana as trembling. And in a way, Arjuna has been trembling against his own fear of killing his own people, the fear of papa, the whole vishad has come and he's trembling. There's a tremor happening. He's not behaving like a yodha, like a warrior. So Sri Krishna goes to the third logic. If you dwell, if you think about your swadharma You have no right to feel the trembling. Na vikampitum arhasi. What a beautiful pada. Dharmyardhi yuddhat shreyonyata. It's a little complicated, so whoever wants to do the part of this will have some vikampit sensation. Dharmyardhi. Dharmat. Dharmyat is, I think, the sixth vibhakti, right? Dharmyat hi. So it becomes dharmyardhi. Dharmyat is dharm ke liye. Janah janama janen janai janat. Fifth vibhakti, sorry. So dharma ke liye, yuddhat, yuddh ke liye, shreyo, you know shreya, the best. Yuddhat shreyo, when yuddhat and shreya becomes, it becomes yuddhat shreyo. Anyata, nothing else. Dharmyat, dharm ke liye, युद्ध के लिए, इससे श्रेय कुछ नहीं. क्षत्रियस्य न विद्यते. Now you got another, you got the sixth vibhakti here. Kshatriyasya, kshatriya ka, that which belongs to the kshatriya. So for a kshatriya, for a warrior, there is nothing greater than fighting in dharma. Nothing greater exists. Na vidyate. Vidya is to be, to exist. Vidyate. Vid also means to know, but that's not the vid we are talking about here. Swadharma. So I'm going to do a little part, then hopefully this one you will need a master like Brahmanandji. Swadharmamapi chavekshya na vikampitum arhasi. Dharmyardhi yuddhat shreyonyata kshatriyasya na vidyate. If you want to play Swami Brahmanandji, you can do that, and then we will try to do this. And here's, you have to hit.
धर्ममपि चावेक्ष्य न विकम्पितुमर्हसि धर्म्याद्धियुद्ध्राश्रेयोऽन्यत् क्षत्रियस्य न विद्यते.
So how beautifully the third pada, which is much longer, he has pulled it together. Now, who wants to try this? Anyone?
Rahul Prashant.
Rahulji?
Very tough.
Try.
I can try.
Try. So,
Okay,
swadharmamapi chaveksha.
Swadharmamapi chavekshya.
Aram se. Swadharmamapi chaveksha.
Swadharmamapi chavekshya.
Beautiful. Na vikampitum arhasi.
Na vikampitum arhasi.
Beautiful. Dharmyardhi yuddhat shreyonyata.
Dharmyadhi yudhyart shriyovita.
Yes. Let's do this again because I know it's difficult. Dharmyardhi yuddhat shreyonyata.
Dharmyadhi yudhyarto shomirtya.
Let's break it down. Dharmyardhi.
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 Dharmyardhi. Yuddhat shreyonyata. Yuddhat shreyo. Let's do yuddhat shreyo.
Yudhyart shreyo.
Yuddha.
Yuddhat
shreyo.
Yuddhat shreyo.
Yeah, yuddhat shreyo. Nyata.
Nyata.
Let's try this. Dharmyardhi yuddhat shreyonyata.
Dharmyadhi yuddha shreyomita.
Beautiful. Just a little, almost there. Kshatriyasya na vidyate.
Kshatriyasya na vidyate.
Beautiful. Almost there. This is one of the most difficult ones to pronounce, to enunciate. So you almost cracked it. Now, see, the fear of reading this to yourself, someday will get it out of you. I guarantee you, you do it for a week with me. Every day I'll do 5 shlokas with you. And by the 7th day, you will be teaching me how to do it. So practice, practice. If you love it, or every time we are there, I will torture you until you get it right. And if you just, the fear goes away, then you can be open. Swadharmamapi cha veksha navikam pitum arhasi. Open your vocal cords, open your diaphragm, and then suddenly the new vibration comes. It's in your diaphragm, it's in your body, it's inside your cells. It should vibrate through and through. Just like it's vibrating in the eardrum here, it has to vibrate in your diaphragm, the drum of the diaphragm. It has to go in your prana. Dharmyardhi yuddhat shreyonyata kshatriyasya na vidyate. Then you can play with it. Swami Brahmananji doesn't follow all the rules. He breaks the rules. Not that we expect you to break the rules initially. But when we were growing up, our grandparents used to do the part every morning. They used to read some shlokas of the Ramayana, Ramacharitmanas, from the Gita. I still hear those sounds. And that's how even if I'm going to pronounce it wrong, I'm going to do it loud. So everyone knows I'm doing it wrong. That's all. So I think we are good with that. So now the third logic. If you think of your Swadharma, Bharata, then you will realize that there is no greater dharma for a warrior than being in a yuddha, in a battle. The Kshatriya's ideal is to find a cause for which he can die in a battle. Yeah, that's beautiful. We can go down to Sri Aurobindo's interpretation. That's really beautiful. Further, looking to thine own law of action, thou shouldst not tremble. Now, Sri Aurobindo is the only one who has used tremble for vikampitum. Others don't use tremble. But I think this is correct, because actually he was trembling. For looking into your own law of action, you should not tremble. There is no greater good for a Kshatriya than righteous battle. In fact, this is the dream. This is the aspiration, the prayer of a Kshatriya. Give me the battle in which I'm fighting for a righteous cause. Give me a cause that I can die for. That is the prayer of the Kshatriya. So he's reminding Arjuna who he is. Now he has come down to Arjuna's level. And this is called in our tradition Upaya Kaushalya. Upaya Kaushalya, I think we talked about it last time, is the guru, the master, comes down to the level of the shishya and uses an upaya with brilliance, with the kaushal that works for the disciple. Now, Arjuna may not have paid attention to the Atman because he's a fighter. He doesn't know the Atman. He's not a thinker, a philosopher. He doesn't care about logic, Sri Krishna's logic. So now Sri Krishna hits his gut, the blow to his right into his center of his being, that if you think of your Swadharma as a Kshatriya, even then you have no right to tremble. Because for a Kshatriya, there is no greater cause than to fight for righteousness in the battle. This is the third logic. And he'll carry this logic for the next 2-3 shlokas. We can take the next shloka or we can give everyone a break. I think I've tortured everyone enough today.
Or maybe we can do, Prashant also wanted to do a chant, this one. Or
you want to do the next one? That's a little tricky, but we can do that. Actually, it's not as tricky as this one. This one was one of the trickiest. It made me cry when I had to do the part on it. But you keep doing it 5 times and then it will become easy. Yadrichaya chopapannam. I'm just reading it aloud. So first, let's do this. Let's just read. Yadrichaya chopapannam. This is the first pada, first foot. Swargadwaram pavritam. Swargadwaram pavritam. Sukhina kshatriya partha labhante yuddha midrisham. So yadrichaya means, again, the word yat is jo, that. Richaya, apne aap, happens spontaneously. Yadachaya chopapannam. Chopapannam is a sandhi of cha and upapannam. Upapannam is that which is happening. Prapt hona, upapannam. So yadrachaya chopapannam, that war which happens by itself, you didn't make it. Swamiji didn't go and pick a fight with the vendor outside. And now he's saying, I'm a Kshatriya, I'm going to beat you up. This battle happened by itself. Swarga dwaram, the door of Swarga. Swarga dwaram, apavritam. Apavritam is opens. Avaran, you might have heard of avaran. Avaran is what? That covers you. Avaran. Apavritam is to open, that which opens. Sukhinaha. Sukhina is sukhi, very happy. Kshatriyaha. Now this Kshatriya is plural. Kshatriyaha is singular. Kshatriyaha is plural. And I won't go into the vibhakti on this, but just remember, Kshatriyaha is plural. Partha. Partha is what he calls Arjuna, because he is the son of Pritha. Pritha is Kunti. Kunti, so there are 2 names that come for Arjuna. Partha, the son of Pritha, or Kaunteya, the son of Kunti. Kunti. Labhante yuddha midrisham. Labhante means prapt hona, labh, prapt hona. Yuddham, yuddha ko. Idrisham, idrisham is prakar. Is drish se, idrisham. So the Kshatriya is the happiest. Sukhina Kshatriya partha labhante yuddha midrisham, who gets a war like this of its own. That Kshatriya is so happy. For him, the doors of heaven have opened. Now, when we say Swarga, in our tradition, Swarga is not the highest place. Swarga and Nark do not mean the Swarga and Nark of Abrahamic religions. They're not the end. Swarga is just one layer of consciousness beyond which you go higher. Narka too is one layer of consciousness below which there are other layers. So we should not say, okay, he goes to Swarga and all is over. Now, this is again the logic at the level of Arjuna, that if you die, your door for heaven has opened. Your Swadharma, Kshatriya, is the happiest when a war happens. What is wrong with you? Basically, he's telling him that. He's hitting it where it hurts. Who wants to read it?
I'll go, Dr. P.
Shanji? So let's do this. Let me just do this and then you can go after. Yadrichaya chopapannam.
Yadrichaya chopapannam.
Now we'll give it the sound. Yadrichaya chopapannam.
Yadrichaya chopapannam.
Swargadwaram pavratam.
Swargadwaram pavratam.
Yeah, ma pe just stay a little longer, because when you say swarg dwaram pavratam, that means ma is half. But in Sanskrit, when it's complete, you're going to give it its due time. You have to give each varna. It's like you have 5 children. You can't ignore 2 and you just say 3, you will get everyone wants attention. Swarg dwaram apavratam.
Swargadwaram apavratam.
Swarg dwaram pavratam.
Swargadwarama apavratam.
Now ma is happy. Sukhinah kshatriyah partha. When I say kshatriya, that visarga will become ha. Sukhinah kshatriyah partha.
Sukhina Kshatriya Partha.
Kshatriyah partha.
Kshatriya Partha.
That visarga will not be kshatriya. Kshatriyah partha.
Kshatriya Partha.
Yes. Labante yuddhamidrisham.
Labhante yuddhamidrisham.
Yeah, when it's long, you can sing. Labhante yuddhamidrisham.
Labhante yuddhamidrisham.
Now remember, you're singing this. This is the Geet. You are singing Shri Krishna's voice. Remember that when you feel. Now let's hear Swami Brahmanand. Look at how with love he sings it.
यदृच्छया चोपपन्नम् स्वर्गद्वारमपावृतम् सुखिनः क्षत्रियाः पार्थ लभन्ते युद्धमीदृशम्.
Now see how beautifully he has done it. Yadrachaya chopapannam. And then he gives pressure on the ga. Swarga dwaram pavratam. Because ga is coming. Swarga, again, he's giving it enough time. Swarg, he's not making it short. Ek baar aur chala do. It's so beautiful. If you don't mind.
यदृच्छया चोपपन्नम् स्वर्गद्वारमपावृतम् सुखिनः क्षत्रियाः पार्थ लभन्ते युद्धमीदृशम्.
So we can give everyone a break at this point, but you will start picking the subtle things as you start listening. So the fear will go. So you can open it up, Swamiji. I hope it was useful.
There's already a question out there. You want to read it? It's a long one, or shall I read it? Is there a reason the Saptam Vibhakti is called Adhikaran in Hindi and
Yes,
Sanskrit?
yes.
What does may per have to do with Adhikar? Your example of I love you, the one in you, in the context of Adhikar sounds very fascinating to me. And that is why the question. Or is it that I have been understanding what Adhikar is wrongly all this while?
Yeah, the word adhikaran is made of 2 words, karana and adhi. Karana is an instrument. Kartane, karam ko, karan se. Karana is karan se ke dwara. Karana is an instrument. Adhi is on the instrument. Adhyaksha. Abhi iksh ki baat hui thi. Iksh. आप देख रहे हो अध्यक्ष सबके ऊपर बैठा हुआ है. Everyone who's sitting on top of everyone else is adhyaksha. Adhi is on. So adhikarana, that which is sitting on, that gives you the place. Me or par. That's how. So even adhikara is adhikara, on the kara. You have the right of the work. You have the right on somebody else. So that's how I have understood it. And I hope I'm right. I'm not a Sanskrit teacher. So please, if I make mistakes, please forgive me. This is not my field. And it's Swamiji's fault for bringing me into this. I have to pull my knowledge of Sanskrit from my childhood. But Swamiji said, my only goal is you start having fun with it. You start reading, and if I say something wrong, you correct me. So I'm not there's no expertise. I confess to you, what little I know, I'll be happy to share because I enjoy it. I'm sharing the fun. If you can enjoy it, that's all my goal is, my job is done. So my goal is to gamify the Gita. We're going to have fun with it. I have even challenges for you, those who are interested. I will give you tasks to do. And these are not tasks out of, torture. I've given them these tasks to myself. So if you ever get interested, I will give you some of these tasks. Simple tasks like find me all the 7th Saptami Vibhakti in chapter 2. Now you will say, I haven't read all chapter 2. Okay. Till the 32nd Shloka, find me all Saptami Vibhakti. Now you go and look at it. I guarantee you, you will never forget it. That's how I remember. I can't remember, Jane, Janiyoha, Jani, Janeshu. I mean, this is what we were made to memorize. Remember that? And Lata, Yam, Lata, Yoha, Lata, Su. Jesus, I can't remember that. But when I read it, it becomes natural to me. And we will practice speaking also. If you want to practice, I don't talk to anyone in Sanskrit. So my spoken Sanskrit has become rusty. Now, if I spend time a month with some Panditji like Sampadananji, who is in Pondicherry, I will start speaking like him. But because I don't have it, I'm not going to create it artificially. I'm going to go from near to far. This is near. I'm going to just do this. I'm going to enjoy the patha. I'm going to love the sound. I'm going to learn about it. And Swamiji got me in this trap. He bowled me this Chinaman and I played it. But feel free to research it more and tell us about it. I hope I'm making Sanskrit fun for you. If it is not fun, then we will not do it.
There is one question from Rahul, maybe from the first shloka, Dharma Kshatriya Kurukshetra. It would be nice to spend some more time talking about Dharma. Seems to be a deep subject, still not very clear. So we have 5 minutes. We can.
Can I
Very
just jump in
beautiful.
for just 1 second? Can I jump in?
Makaranji,
Yes.
who
Thank
let you
you.
in?
I barged in. I was on another program, but I just want to say it's a lot of fun. We're all learning a lot. I just had one suggestion about the chanting. May I?
Yes.
Yes,
अभी
please.
नहीं बोलूंगा तो फिर भी बोलोगे आप.
नहीं, मैं चुप हो जाता हूँ. आप बताइए.
नहीं, बोलिए.
नहीं, मैं ये कहना चाह रहा था कि see, sometimes when we are trying to, chant the verse aloud, because of the sandhis, it becomes a little more difficult. But suppose you go to the padacheda. For example, suppose we said, Yadrishyayana upapannam svarga dvaram upavratam. It's easier. Just go down the same page that you showed. So instead of saying Yadrishyaya chopapannam, which is a little harder, just scroll down, you see the padacheda. It's also easier to understand and easier to chant. Yadrishyaya cha upapannam. Cha here indicates the and, So I'm just saying, when Dr. Saab is making us chant and holding the stick, I'm just saying, if you look at the padacheda, it might be easier. Sukhina Kshatriyaha Partha Labhante Yuddham Idrasham. If you do the padached when you're chanting, it might be easier. That was my only suggestion. With your permission, sir. I'm muting myself.
Absolutely. So you can break it in. That was the fun in with the Veda also. You will see the padapad, so they will break it down. Every word was broken down and the student had to learn all this. I try to just get the sound in your ear, but there's absolutely, you're right. We can break it down. Maybe we can try that next time. We can break it down and then do it again and again. I want to embarrass everyone a little bit, but not too much, so that you come back. I want to just give a tinge of embarrassment so that now you'll practice 10 times and do it. So That is the goal. Let's embarrass each other. What the hey? It's okay. We are among friends and Swamiji, so we'll be fine. So there was a question, did you say? First chapter. So Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre. Dharma is a very heavy word. Dharma is, if that word dharma is understood, I think all of our Sanskriti is understood. It comes from the word dhri, which means to bear, to hold. That which holds you together, or that which you can hold on to keep you together. So there is a dharma of the individual. There is a dharma of the age. There is a dharma of the kula. There is a dharma of the family here. There is a dharma of the family. You should not hit your family, should not kill your family. That's a proper dharma. But then there is a dharma of the Kshatriya, of the Varna, that you should stand for the righteousness. And what is happening here is the battle of two dharmas. The dharma as a family man, protecting my family, not hurting, standing for them. And now the dharma of the Kshatriya, who's going to slaughter all his family. And then comes, so Sri Krishna very beautifully weaves one dharma after another. He will take. So here he talks about the Swadharma from the Shloka 31 that we just took, 31st, 32nd, 33rd. He'll talk about Swadharma. And you'll say, you were just talking about the Purusha, which is gone beyond, there's no limit, that is Nitya, Sanatana. And again, you have descended to a level which is focused on the results. You had gone to a level where there are no results, no goals. You're beyond everything. Now you're back to doing things for your goals. Swarga ke liye, you have to get it because of Swarga. But he is not descended, because in our tradition, there is a graded ideal. As you evolve in understanding, your ideal evolves. And that is how your understanding of dharma evolves. So if I give you a dharma definition of dharma that is not applicable to you where you are, it means nothing. So my 15-year-old, his dharma is to study. His dharma is to be healthy, to be strong, to take care of himself, his body, his mind, his vital, and prepare himself and grow in the sophistication of thought. But my 80-year-old mom, her dharma has changed. Her age has changed. So our dharma will change too. Our dharma will change in different positions. So our tradition allowed a flexibility in dharma. Dharma is not a fixed thing. So when we translate dharma into religion, we make a big mistake. And that is how our people get confused. Our dharma is not a fixed dharma. Our dharma is very flexible. It has many dimensions to it. So as you evolve, as you mature, he is going to tell Arjuna, and I'm going to anticipate a little bit, he's going to tell Arjuna that your dharma is to go beyond the fruit of the action. Your dharma is to do things without any focus, any desire for results. And then he will take it even further. Your dharma is to get greater jnana. And in that greater jnana, your dharma is to do the karma. And then even further, your dharma is to do this all in bhakti. And then he will take it even higher. And finally, he will tell him, abandon all dharmas and do it all for me. Sarva dharma parityajya mamekam sharanam vrija. So see how it began with dharma kshetre, and in the last chapter, 18th chapter, 66th shloka, sarva dharman parityajya. All dharmas abandon and take refuge in me alone. Shri Krishna is the only dharma there is. So see the layers of understanding that have been brought into Arjuna's mind, so that eventually he becomes ready for that dharma. If I tell my 15-year-old, abandon all dharmas and do everything for Shri Krishna, he's going to be the most confused person in the world. He's going to stop studying. He's going to stop going to the gym and building himself. He's going to stop developing emotional intelligence, how to talk to the girls, how to be respectful to the teacher, how to take care of mom and dad, how to go outside and help when someone needs, the neighbor, go give them a gift, right? These are things that he has to develop. So if I give him this ultimate dharma, his life is all messed up. So we have to realize that dharma is that which holds that particular vyaktitva together. As one becomes more and more mature and starts dropping those layers that hold one in that confinement, then one becomes ready for a bigger, wider dharma, a wider understanding, a deeper living, until one drops everything and lives in Shri Krishna alone. So dharma is one of the unifying themes of the Gita. The Gita is a very complex work of literature. It is not a simple thing. We take it for granted. It's stereotyped. It is very complex. And Shri Krishna beautifully will weave dharma through the whole Gita. In fact, Shri Krishna, if we call him a serial disruptor, that is who he is. Whatever we understand of a word, he will change the definition through. Whether you talk about karma, if you say karma, okay, go for the fruit of the action, this is what karma is, right? If I have to pass the exam, I have to study. Then he'll change the definition. No, you're not studying for the sake of the exam. Suddenly, your whole initiative is lost, but he'll give you a different initiative. Sannyasa is to drop everything and leave this world. He'll say, no, that is not sannyasa. Sannyasa is to drop everything right here and do the work. Karma, they used to say, do the karma kanda. He says, no, that is not karma kanda. Your real karma is you drop the fruit. So he's changing the definitions of every term. Samadhi itself, he changes the definition of samadhi. We think samadhi is to be in some tandra, some trance. He changes all that. Nirvana, the meaning of nirvana, he changes. And this is the brilliance when a great yogi, great teacher comes and the light is lost, the understanding is gone, he brings back that light from his greater perspective. And so dharma becomes very flexible for a mind as vast as Shri Krishna. He can come and argue with Arjuna about the level of Swadharma that he has to fight as a Kshatriya and win this kingdom and get Swarga if he loses. And then eventually he takes him to a level where there is no reward. He's not doing it for any reward. But the great teacher talks at the level of the student. And that is how dharma was created. Every person in the samaja, in the society, could live at his level of understanding so that he could evolve to a higher level. The whole society could move in that direction. And that the Gita calls Loka Sangraha, bringing everyone together and an evolution together. That is the purpose. So I know dharma is such a topic, and I think if you really want someone to talk about dharma, Swami Partho Anand should be doing that, Swamiji. But that's a different topic altogether. But the little spiel that I gave you, I think that should at least give you some idea, and then we can always discuss it further. And Shri Krishna will do it. Every time he will bring a new level and it will unveil itself to you. Every chapter is a new understanding of the terms that he has already explained, and he will bring it to a higher level because you are reaching a deeper level of spiritual realization.
Also,
Okay.
people would read the book. This is Sanatan Dharma. It's the most beautiful.
Yes, it's a beautiful book. It is one of the very simple, lucid books that introduces Sanatan Dharma. And there's so much confusion about our dharma brought by our own people. And so going back to it, because then they fight. You know, Advait Vedanta disagrees with Vishisht Advaita, with Dvait Vedanta. And Swami Vivekananda had something very beautiful to say. He said, each is a stage of evolution, each is a stage of realization. So for the bhakta who is worshipping Sri Krishna as a separate entity, divine outside, yes, that's the Dvaita Bhav. And then there comes a Vishisht Advaita Bhav, and you realize we are the same substance, yet there is a difference. And then there is the Advaita Bhav, where there is no difference. So it is very beautiful. Swami Vivekananda kind of summarized it for us. And if we remember that, then we won't get caught up in the arguments over dharma. There are some Adi Shankaracharya or some Shankaracharya down south who got upset because the temple was not done right. We have to understand that each person is acting in his own understanding. So usually arguments on the basis of dharma, if you understand where each person is, then you let them be and you relax more about it.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Dr. P.
Okay. Namaste. Thank
Namaskar.
you.
Dhanyavad.
Okay.
Dhanyavad. Thank you.